Relationships are one place we discover that love is something we practice. Welcome to the conversations that help us become better partners, parents, friends, and humans, because every relationship is a chance to heal, grow, and belong. Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the incredible authors of one of our newest books. This one is called Brave Families. Let me just give you guys a sneak peek of this gorgeous cover while I talk about it. Brave Families, the ultimate guide to long-lasting, loving relationships. Just quick shout out to Davide De Angelis for this beautiful cover art, and also to our lead author, Jean Voice Dart. Jean, I have massive gratitude for you. You are an incredible human. You brought together this stellar group of amazing expert authors to talk about a subject that we all need help with. No matter, I think, no matter who you are and what situation you are in, this book is going to help in so many different ways. And thank you, Jean, for stepping up as a leader in this field and for everything you have done for this project. So I got some pretty cool people in my Zoom room today, you guys. Molly McMillan is a mother and owner of two healing arts businesses, Power Retrieval Retreats and Monandoc. Did I get that right? No. Okay. To say it for me.
Everybody messes that up. It's
I know.
Monadnock.
Monadnock, myofascial release, in which she expertly guides clients to connect with their power and the healthiest version of themselves. Thank you, Molly, for that help. Nancy Stevens helps professional women reconnect with self-trust, clarity, and calm through leadership coaching and somatic practices. And we have Lietta Klink. She founded Neurologic Studio to support clients through somatic, sensory, and psychotherapy integration of past traumas. Oh my gosh, ladies, I am super duper excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for saying yes to this project and for being here today. Lietta, I'm going to start this party with you. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
Hi, everybody. So good to be here. I my why with this chapter is just the importance of I feel like people being seen today more than ever. People just really need to be seen and feel like they matter. Their story matters. Their what they're going through. Just I wanted them to be seen in a story that I had that was deeply healing. And I feel like a lot of families that I was writing about in the adoption world kind of just go through and they just keep going and they don't really realize everything that's building up with them.
I think being seen is a powerful topic in general. And I wondered if you would just tell us a little more about that. Like, it is important. Why? Why is it important to feel seen?
I think if we can feel seen, it just brings that awareness to our humanity, our connections with each other, that other people struggle as well. And I think it just kind of gives us permission to kind of look inside and take a deep breath and a pause that, you know, so many times we're just always trying to do the right thing and trying to just keep going. And I feel like when we're really just seen for all the times that we fall, the times that we're really scared, the times that we don't know what to do, but we just keep going. Our body kind of holds on to that. It kind of comes at a cost. And so I think when we can really be seen and be there for each other and really connect and kind of support through that healing process of like, hey, I see you. I went through that too, and it's really hard, and you're okay. I think it can be really healing.
And so that is you're moving right into this next thought I had about it. Like, if I am recognizing this in another meaning, I really want to help you feel seen. Like, sometimes it's really just about speaking that simple sentence. Hey, I see you, yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah. yeah, I think we're just, more than ever, I think with, we're also busy and we're also connected socially through, you know, either social media or our phones, that just continuing that human connection piece is, we're all still kind of, searching for that. I think that part of being seen and just connecting with others, and really even getting information, just having resources of like, what do we do? What is this? You know, my body's been really off and it's really hard for me to even go somewhere. Like, what is this? That connection piece of someone being seen and having the resources of like, oh, this is a real neurological, you know, your nervous system is just really needs to reset, or maybe you're holding on to this. I think just gives people that kind of power back to, oh, I thought it was just me. I thought it was, I couldn't do this, or not really putting the whole picture together of their body and their healing.
Yeah, there's some acknowledgement there, validation there of their own, what they're feeling is it's so important.
Yeah.
Leetta, thank you for being here, for saying
Yay,
yes
thank
to
you.
this project, for bringing some of your heart and soul to these pages.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, Molly, let's come on over to you, and what was the why for you for your chapter that you wrote?
Ooh, so I was so happy to be asked by you and Jean to do this project. I was hesitant because my chapter is so deeply personal. My why is I want to help other parents who are going through what I went through with my son to know that they're not alone, that their journey is something that other people have gone through. And I wanted to make sure they understood that there's a way to get through it that's not necessarily the traditional way to get through things, but a way that worked for us. After a lot of searching and working hard and figuring it out, we found a way. And I'm just so grateful that we did and that I can share it with other people.
Tell us the title of your chapter.
My chapter is called A Values Manifesto, Family Bonding and Belonging with Our Transgender Son.
I loved the idea of the manifesto. I've got a question later that I'm going to ask you about a little bit more about that. But what do you want other parents to know today about this subject?
I want them to understand that what their child needs more than anything is to feel a sense of bonding and belonging and not to feel like the problem or that something's wrong with them. You know, in our society, immediately when you talk about someone who's transgender, my son is also neurodiverse, so that added to the mix. There's a sense of, oh, something is wrong. This is not okay, or why did this happen? There's the sense of wanting to separate and figure it out and fix it. And what really is needed is for that child to understand that it's okay to be exactly who they are and that we're in it together and that the process will work best if we can all understand that we're all in it together, that what matters more than anything is the bonding and the relationships and creating a place of belonging. Um, yeah, that's the most important thing I want people to understand. And I will say my ex-husband and I were always supportive and we had unconditional love for our son. However, when somebody comes out, there's all of these questions about, oh, is this really what's happening or is there something else going on? Because there are mental health issues that go along with it that make it a little confusing. And that's what happened for us. And it turns out that the mental health issues were really a result of him not being in the right body. And once we fixed that, once he transitioned, he became himself and he blossomed and he bloomed. But there were 3 or 4 years of really a hard time getting there, understanding that and making that happen.
Molly, thank you for writing about this. Thanks for saying yes to this project and for being brave and really you're trailblazing with your chapter. So I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
Nancy, let's hear a little bit about your why.
Well, thank you for asking me that. As I sat here listening to my fellow co-authors, whys, it's kind of made me bubble up a little bit more. I guess my why was a learning journey for me into having a place to process uh, my interactions, projections, reflections from within myself out to my family, our sons. And what transpired for that was the chapter I chose to write, because I initially had, when I talked to Jean, I was like, I don't know, what is this family? And then it just began to bubble up. It's the essence of trust, of trusting, learning how to trust ourselves, that we simply extend that energy onto our families in a way that is healthy and provides a foundation for which all of things to follow.
So tell me more about trusting yourself. What do you mean by that? What has to happen for everything else to happen?
I for my journey, it was learning how to sit quietly and move the noise of all the externals that I had taken as a, tangible cue to what I was supposedly needing to do, think, or be, and just sit deeply, and with that self-awareness piece, be willing and vulnerable to go underneath the surface and gently, with curiosity and compassion, ask myself, what's going on with your thought or your feeling about this? And the answer may not have been one that was comfortable for me. It may have been challenging or a struggle, but it was moving into that space that gave me the ability to know that, oh, I just need to trust myself in the process, that will inform me more lovingly, with more wisdom, of how to be with other people. So I guess part of that was releasing the layer of fear of the unknown, of all the labels that we get externally, and the labels and stories that we give ourselves, thinking that that's truth. So yeah, definitely an inner journey, but there's one that, as I do the work on, it definitely shines itself outward to our family.
Inner and deep journey, right? You
Yeah.
guys, like, this is not small potatoes things we're talking about around in this book. These are topics that are going to challenge you. But that's such core foundational work, I think. And I appreciate you sharing about that today. Thank
Mhm.
you, Nancy, for saying yes to this project and bringing your awesome practices and all three of you, your wisdom, your master teachings. Thanks for taking on my challenge of getting a vulnerable story into that book and then gifting us with your master teachings. These chapters are huge gifts, world changing, really life changing for sure. Um, so I love the topic of awareness. I think it's everything. I think that transformation takes awareness and usually other levels of it. With awareness, we have choices. Molly, when it comes to your family and your relationships, tell us a little bit about your practice of awareness. What does that look like? What has helped you? Give me an example.
Wow, yeah, that's so good. Such good stuff because awareness, a lot of what was going on for me at the time of this difficulty, this terror, this struggle, this um worry, is I felt it in my body. I was very aware of how I felt so much stress and anxiety and worry. And my son is hypersensitive to all of that, hypersensitive. And a lot of kids, it turns out, who are neurodiverse are hypersensitive to the people they're closest to. Usually it's a parent. And so I had to really work on that for myself, and I still do. I mean, I've done this in my practice and my work. It's so different when it comes to your family. in your own personal life and how you have to really attend to it. So in as many moments as possible when I'm with other people, I try to pay attention to what I'm feeling in my body and what the thoughts are and make sure that I can clear out anything as much as possible or talk about what's happening if that works best, just to get it all out so that I can feel grounded and centered and be as present as I can. I definitely notice with my son, if I'm feeling, I can tell, I can see it mirrored in him even now. It's really, really interesting how that works in families, how you're so connected in that way. And if you can, as the parent, really help yourself, help yourself feel as healthy and well as possible and are aware of um, that sense of yourself, it makes a big difference.
You're making me think of just discerning in my own body what might be mine, but what might be someone around me stuff. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is other level kinds of awareness. And it does take practice, but what Molly's talking about is so incredibly important. Um, and when you start to feel those differences and understand it, I think really, Molly, for me, it was like shining a light on it. I could deal way easier when I knew what was happening in there. Anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, yeah, so much of our focus initially was on helping him, fixing him, figuring it out, separating the pieces, trying to figure out what to do. And then when I could recognize that all of that was affecting him because it was something I was in inner turmoil about, when I could realize that and just work on letting that go and being present in myself and accepting the situation for what it was and then going from there, it was just huge. It made such a big difference. Really, really hard work.
Yes. Yes, it is. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
Nancy, coming to you with this awareness question, what has helped you? What's been an example of how you practice that?
Basically, it is through the somatic practice of sensing of if I'm feeling, energy that feels really rushed or scattered or, in my head, that is a nudge to me to go and ask myself, what's going on here? What needs to be lovingly addressed or, you know, um, moved into deeper in order to move into the wisdom of my body. For me, it's definitely sometimes when something unexpected happens, or when life moves forward, you can get. I found that you can get stuck in old habit patterns, thinking that because those feel comfortable, even though they may not really have any significance or bearing. Um, to just move into what's taking place in the moment, name it, feel it, acknowledge it, recognize it, and utilizing that to take a loving, informed step forward. That was, like I said, with my journey of when I found my situation changing, this is an empty nester, um, beginning to move away from the old well-worn habit patterns and stepping in more lovingly to just trusting the process. That was a very big step for me with that awareness piece.
I love it, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you for describing that and sharing that. This is foundational awareness work that I'm talking to all of our listeners. It's going to be life-changing for you. Taking one little golden nugget of what you're listening to today and put that into practice, even taking enough time for just a pause to ask the questions. And Molly and Nancy, you both are talking about that as being part of your process. Like you have to pause in the moment and ask that question, what am I feeling right now? that one little thing, right? This gets me excited if you can't tell. Leanne, I'm going to move to you now with this awareness question. Give us an example of how your practice looks.
Well, similar to what we've been talking about, that somatic piece, that bottom up first, that bottom top approach, just really checking in, like the little subtleties, like if your heart just starts racing, or you're just starting to feel a little bit, maybe you're starting to feel heavy, or like you're spinning, like just having those awarenesses. I also have a background in occupational therapy. I was an occupational therapy assistant, and I worked with kiddos for like 12 years. And so just watching them through their development with all the sensory processing and the way they take in everything in their environment, people's energy, the lights, the sounds, it's so powerful, that awareness piece. Just even seeing where your surroundings are, of like, who is that kind of igniting something in me that I need to also be aware of. Just that awareness to, like, how do we take care of ourselves? How do we keep up with our growth, keep up with our family's growth, and really be able to just kind of tune in and make those adjustments. I just think it's really powerful.
I think something all three of you are bringing up in my mind is this allows us to then respond instead of react to the moment. And that one little gift is a big gift in life, right?
Yes. And it's so hard.
Yeah. And Leetta, when you were saying environment, that's what made me think of that. It's like something happens out here and I am in reaction mode. But if I can manage to pause, then I don't have to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we need water. Maybe we haven't
Yeah.
eaten all day, right? Maybe we're in this busy, chaotic environment, and then everything's kind of processing. Just those, it just helps us be more present and just kinder to ourselves, kinder to others, of like, hey, let's take a minute. It's that it all goes together, right? The connection piece, that awareness, that, hey, I see you, just take a minute, like I've been there too. It's just a human connection, just an awareness.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to give all three of you another chance to kind of dive into the place in these chapters where you're teaching. And I think this part of the chapters is such a gift to people. And I really challenged you all to help the reader with a practical experience. Nancy, what's the most important thing that you want us to know about letting go? You were chapter 20, right? I think I'm getting that
Yes.
right. Okay.
Yep. I feel the most important thing about letting go is that piece of being in the process, cultivating that deep inner awareness of knowing that we have everything we need, and using that to be able to let go in order for having that whole experience for in my case, on behalf of our adult sons, even though I might not have a crystal clear, end result, being able to trust myself, allowing that door to, that they are adults, they are going to have everything they need, and all the experiences that are coming their way are ones meant for them to learn, even if the supposed outcome is one that I might have a label on as being, a struggle or a challenge, not giving it a tangible, hard label or meaning. And that is, there's so many layers to it, but yeah, it's the piece of being able to compassionately and lovingly step back, let go, and be in the moment of the learning and the energy taking place without having to place a label or an assumption or a meaning on it.
Oh, this is so hard some days. I
Yes,
have
it is.
my two adult children, and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, okay, I have to wake up every day and repeat this effort that you're talking about. Like I have to remind myself
Yeah.
every day that I can't make their struggle mean anything. Like, and it's theirs. And it's
Hmm.
us, moms, parents, we so don't want them to hurt. We right, and so we'll
Yeah.
we'll do anything, but sometimes I have to stop myself and just remind myself, hey, that's a struggle that is going to help them become who they're meant to be. So if I swoop in and try to fix it all, it's not really the path, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're putting our path onto theirs, thinking that we're doing them an incredible favor, and that always backfired.
Yes, it
So,
does.
um, so it was yeah, it was a definitely a deep inner process with twists and turns that gave me here. So it definitely provides a lot more fertile ground for peace to take place and patience, even though you have that urge always as a parent to want to like give them the best advice ever.
Like the idea of some peace and patience. I like that
Yeah.
a lot. Okay, so let's move to you, Leetta, with this one. What's the most important thing you want us to know about? Then this is in your title, the tower moment. Tell us about this.
Just I found myself, thinking that I had done, well, I felt like I did a lot of healing work. And then having this experience with my family and, adopting an older child from the system and just having like all the things we talked about, all those things in our environment that, you know, are outside of us. And just, yeah, it just really showed me how much I had not healed from my past. And there was like nowhere to go because I'm now in this mother role and also, a parent role for someone who had extreme developmental trauma and attachment as I'm having parenting my bio son, and we had another adopted daughter that was still, we were still in the system. So it was like the most awareness of like, wow, I'm not okay. And I really need to be okay because I'm the center of everyone else being able to navigate being okay. So that's what my chapter talks about. And that, just that realization of like all the somatic symptoms that come up that we just kind of push past and just go through. And we're just like, okay, we'll get through this and then we'll get through this until you can't. And it's so evident, just um, that's the biggest part of the why I wrote this chapter. Is just I know there's so many people that feel this way, whether they're an adoptive family or not. I think it's just we all kind of come to that moment of like, okay, we just can't move forward like this. Like it's just not working. And just having that awareness of like, I have to take care of myself so I can take care of my family.
Yes. Oh my gosh, how many times do we hear the message, put the mask on yourself first, but we don't. But I think I'm going to back up to, you know, if you're having symptoms, you said somatic symptoms, and even if listening to you talk about that helps somebody sort of wake up to the idea that what they are experiencing is related to some of these things, right? Like can't move forward like this. So how am I going to take care of myself so that I can help anyone else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like really, really, really important. I'm giving it the 3 reallys.
It
Uh,
is. Yeah.
okay, so Molly, let's move to you now. What's the most important thing about the values manifesto?
What it did for us is it upended everything in such a good way because I realized that what we needed to do is create a nest of safety and belonging for our family, and especially for our son. He needed to have that support of trust and safety and belonging. And the values manifesto allowed us to create our own values, our own family values. We didn't have to rely on our family history of values or the cultural values or even our community values. We could decide for ourselves what we needed to have as far as values. And my son loved that because he was striving to be independent. So his first value was independence, and he participated. And that was something that was kind of new for him. At the time, he wasn't really participating in much or anything. So I was so grateful that he got excited about this project and he participated, and he's an artist. So then he helped create not just the words, but also an emblem that we now have as our family emblem with the values around it.
When I read this in your chapter, I was really excited about it. And first of all, I'm like so excited that he was excited, because sometimes you do stuff like this and you hope that your kid is going to like say yes or be involved or whatever. And then sometimes they aren't, right? And it can be disappointing. But yes, I love this particular piece, and I hope everybody I don't know, just, read through that exercise, see if you can get your family together, and maybe you don't do it exactly the same, but maybe you make your own version of it, right?
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's important, is to let go of the expectation that it has to be done a certain way and let everyone in the family participate in whatever way they want to or they can.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. So, um, to all three of you, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world. Thanks for saying yes to this project. Thanks for having a conversation today about all of this, for being here to do it. What I want everyone to know, all of our listeners, is, this is way more than a book. This Brave Families is a generous community of experts. So if you heard something today and you have a question or you need support, or I don't know, you got goosebumps about something, I have all of our authors hooked up down below with their websites and their links. Please go explore what they're up to. We would love it if you would run over to purchase your copy of the book today. I've got the link below for that as well. And lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.